All right, traders, Mike here with the watch list video for Thursday, May 22nd. SPY trying to roll over a little bit. Look at the intraday if you didn't trade with us today. It was doing just fine, and then the bottom fell out. My best explanation, my best technical explanation is it's a bond thing. And that's about as smart as I am about bonds, but it certainly affected the market. Highlights from today, real quick, ASST. I made a rare pre-market call. The daily's not so pretty now, right? But I'm going to show you, if you weren't there, it's a good reason. This is an argument to maybe join us in pre-market. I had pointed out that it had topped at 8, ASST in pre-market, and that yesterday's high was 812. I took it through 8 myself. I know some others did, and man, it just ripped. It went to 1091, all before the market opened. So I had a nice trade under my belt already. I also pointed out a flag in GPUS, and the flag break would have been 588, and it went to 998 on about 40 cents risk. It didn't stop out. So, and that was not pre-market, that was after the open. But anyway, there's a couple highlights there. I'm going to go right. Oh, let me put this up. A lot of new faces in chat. If you're a new face, please read this, but I'm going to sum it up for you. We start with the daily charts, because daily charts that are interesting, that are recently in play, are the stocks we want to focus on. And then we trade intraday on the setups that we teach. And a lot of you guys are really good at pointing out those setups. I love the teamwork. Hat tip to the whole group. With that said, let me go into what we're watching for tomorrow. KDLY, just a big rip today and could have a follow through. So we're going to watch that. It certainly kind of extended to the upside. LTRY, big rip today too. UPXI, a little more quiet, right? Had this big pop, secondary pop, came down into just sideways chop, and then today a nice little move. You don't see a big volume pop there, but it falls into the category of recent high flyer, and it's on the move. That could give us a nice trade. That's kind of what happened in pre-market with ASST, if you think about it. GPUS, closing way off its highs, but man, did it have a big intraday move. I'm a day trader. I'm going to focus on stuff that is making big intraday moves and see if we can get a low risk setup tomorrow. MWYN only goes back to mid-March, because that's when it IPO'd, and it closed today in a weak market at all-time highs. I think the Dow was down 816 points today. NASDAQ down 270. So that's great relative strength. I'm going to keep that one on watch. This WRBY, which had that collaboration with Google on smart glasses or something, just put in a quiet inside day today. Could give a third day play. We'll see. GOOS looked really good earlier, and then you could argue maybe it sold off with the market, right? I believe they had earnings. Certainly worth watching tomorrow. ATYR, also a strong move. We're going to watch that one tomorrow. PUBM is kind of a sleeper, but it's also kind of forming a cup and handle here, right? So goes on the list, but it's more of a sleeper pick. One of my favorites, maybe my favorite, WRD. I mentioned this through 850 this morning. Personally, I didn't take it, so it's a sore subject for me. But if you weren't there, it had topped right here early on at 956. I must have said that wrong. I'm sorry. 950 is where I mentioned. Second mouse through 950, but it had just come from the low of this candle, which was 893. I just felt like it had gone too far, too fast. Which shows how smart I am, because the 950 break went all the way to 1102 really without looking back. But go back to the daily, it's definitely got great volume and room to run. They announced, I believe, earnings. I'm not sure if it was earnings. They announced a big buyback though. So probably my top one to watch tomorrow. SPCE goes back on watch. It's almost round tripped, but still massive volume here. It did squeeze this day, intraday. And now after 3 days lower on declining volume, this is still a good candidate, in my opinion, for a bounce play setup. We had it on bounce watch coming into today, but it gave no setup, so no trade, right? QUBT, not a very clean bounce play setup, but that whole quantum space, if it catches a bid, you could argue after this gap up, it's back down to support. I'm going to treat that like a bounce play if it sets up. PTIX, also on bounce watch. A lot of bag holders in it if you look at the volume this day, right? And a couple days lower, but I'm still going to treat it like a bounce play. Same with TNGX, had a big rip 3 days ago, a couple days lower on declining volume. Bounce watch. And then lastly, NVTS, which looks ugly, but as I'm talking to you, it's trading at 588. And after hours, it went as high as 650, JTR, if you were around in after hours, pointed out after that initial spike that it topped at 3. The implication he was giving is back through 3 would have worked. I was kind of working on the watch list and saw it too late, and I wasn't going to chase. And from 3, it went to 650. Shows how smart I am again. But a great heads up by JTR. And again, excuse me, another example of why it's sometimes worth it to show up early and hang out in the after hours as well. That's it for me. I'll see you guys in chat in the morning. Have a good night.